Hello everyone, Iris is here, welcome back to my channel. I was thinking that some filmmakers, they just burst onto the scene with such confidence that they basically shift the culture. So I have collected the list of 10 best debuts in movie history. This list is very subjective, but I have tried to choose the ones that really gave the start to amazing, unbelievable careers. But I have also gathered some modern and promising ones. But before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new here so you never miss a new video. And now let's start, shall we? I've really struggled with the 10th and 9th places, although I knew from the beginning which directors I'm going to choose for today's list. But I had a competition here and I hope you will understand my choice, so I've decided to put Sofia Coppola's The Virgin Suicides at number 10 because I think it's a very beautiful and it's definitely a very emotional debut. It showed that signature style that Sofia Coppola's movies have, which I am actually a very big fan of. But I think that Lost in Translation is a stronger movie, which I really love and adore, and I have included it into my list of 10 most romantic movies of all time, so if you haven't seen it, feel free to check it out. But with The Virgin Suicides, I actually loved this movie, and I love Kristen Dunst as an actress, and I think she's amazing here. And also, after adolescence premiering and being such a big thing, I think that this movie really speaks about the same kind of ish topic. So if you haven't seen it, I really recommend you doing so, because I think that this film really started a wonderful career of Sofia Coppola, and I can't wait to see what she has in store for us in the future. So as I've said, I had this competition between the 10th and the 9th places, and maybe it's a little bit controversial, but I have decided to put Robert Eggers and his The Witch at number 9. It's definitely a very chilling and very dark movie, but it set the bar, I think, so high, not only for Robert Eggers himself, but also for this, for all modern horror directors in general. I think it definitely changed the scenery in this genre. I'm not a very big fan of horrors. I can't even say that I really watch them, but there is just something about Robert Eggers's movies that I'm just drawn to them. I really love The Lighthouse, and I think that his last one, the latest, Nosferatu, was definitely good in some cases, maybe not overall, but in some parts I think it was a very nice movie, and I just can't wait to see what he is capable for, and if he can surprise us. He's still building up his legacy. That's why I think it's maybe a little bit controversial placing him higher than Sofia Coppola, who has done more movies since her debut. But I think that Robert Eggers definitely has a very big chance of surprising us. Greta Gerwig with her Ladybird is at number 8, and I mean, what debut it was. It was definitely very emotional, touching and wholesome and sincere, and the fact that I felt nostalgic about the place that I've never even been to after watching this movie is absolutely mind-blowing, and it definitely showed us what Greta can do with the atmosphere and with acting performances, because not only Greta is an amazing director, but she's an amazing actress as well, and I think that you can see it with the way she works with actors and the acting performances that we get as a result, and it definitely set the bar very high for her upcoming projects. And now, as we know, she's working on Narnia, and she wants, maybe not specifically she, but they want to cast Meryl Streep as Aslan, and I mean, maybe it sounds a little bit controversial, but I'm actually excited to see what they have been working on, and if this news is true, then I guess we will have a very, very interesting adaptation of Narnia. So I think that Lady Bird is definitely an amazing debut, because it definitely showed that signature style, that director's signature style, which is so important, because that's why I love certain specific directors, because when I watch their movies, I know that it's them, and I think that what makes a really great director to stand out. Steve McQueen with Hunger is at number 7, and it's definitely not a very easy film to watch. It's brutal, but it showed us that Steve McQueen, not only he is a visual master, but he is also a very good storyteller. And I personally love Shame more than Hunger. In both films, the main parts are played by Michael Fassbender, who I absolutely adore as an actor. It's unfortunate that he's not in the limelight at the moment, but with Steve McQueen, then there was 12 Years a Slave, and this film was a huge success. Steve McQueen received the Best Director award at the Academy Awards, and the film itself received Best Picture award and many others. So I think it definitely set the bar very, very high for Steve McQueen and for his future career. But I must admit that I didn't really like his latest work, Blitz, although it stars my all-time favorite Saoirse Ronan, but I don't think that this movie was as good as his previous works, so I am hoping that he's going to surprise us in the future with his new works, but I think that Hunger is definitely a very, very strong debut. Number 6, and here I have Sam Mendes with American Beauty. I mean, the fact that he received the Oscar as Best Director for the first movie that he has ever made is absolutely insane. And American Beauty was a huge success because it received many more awards at the Academy Awards, and then Sam Mendes actually created some amazing movies from James Bond franchise. I'm talking about Skyfall and Spectre, and maybe Spectre isn't one of the greatest, but I think that Skyfall is kind of is. But many people forget about Revolutionary Road, which I really love, with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio, and then he created his big epic 1917, which was, I think, very beautifully crafted, and now he is working on 4 different movies about each member from the Beatles. It's probably going to be a box office disaster, but I mean, who is going to stop him? And it's kind of intriguing to watch. But I think that American Beauty this is like the highest possible level of recognition that you can get as a creator, as a director, of course, and he received it with his debut, so I think it says a lot. But I personally have decided to put him in this list. I mean, he obviously deserves to be here, but also because after this great success, what American Beauty was, he didn't stop, and I think he tried a lot of different genres, and I think he really showed us that American Beauty wasn't just a coincidence. So that's why I think that he really deserves to be here, and I have decided to place him at number 6. It took next directors just a little bit more time to receive this desirable award at the Oscars. Of course, I'm talking about the Coen brothers and their debut, Blood Simple, which was filled with everything I think that we love Coen brothers for, because it was filled with this irony and suspense and those quirky characters and visual wit, and basically what we love them for was already baked into their first movie, into their debuts. And they had amazing movies besides that, of course, and No Country for Old Men was a huge success, and they finally received the award as Best Directors, and the movie received the award as Best Picture. So it was just a very big success, and they had some, I think, nice and amazing movies afterwards. But I am actually very upset that nowadays they don't produce as big and interesting stories. The last one that I have watched was Reservoir Dogs, which was specifically directed by Ethan Coen. So I just want them to connect again and to create a movie like they did in the good old days, because I think that they are definitely masters of suspense and this irony, and they have this remarkable signature style which no one else does. So I can't wait to see what they have in store for us in the future, but for now, yes, they finish at number 5 as the 5th greatest debut in movie history. Speaking about remarkable careers, I can't not to mention Andrei Tarkovsky and his Ivan's Childhood, because he had extraordinary career, and the movies that he made, they are much more than just movies. I can't, I think, find even the right words to describe each of them, but specifically let's talk about his debut, because that movie was just a very contemplative image of loss, and the tone and the pacing, it definitely was there from the beginning, that we will be able to see in all of his other works. And I think that Andrei Tarkovsky, he's such a very big source of inspiration for all directors nowadays, and a lot of them used techniques or visual, features that he has used in his works, and he created, it was like kind of, I don't know, like let's call it a confession, I think. So if you will watch his movies, I really recommend you watching them in order, because order is extremely important for his movies, because he kind of described it as a ladder, like he was trying to get to the god, and that's why he has those like major 7 movies. So it's very important to watch them, I think, in that particular order. Maybe that's just, it's probably my personal, opinion, but I think it's very important. So I think that was the beginning, and in this beginning you basically can see the end. That's why I think that the order is very important. So when you watch the Ivan's Childhood, and if you want to watch other movies, they're definitely not I think viewer-friendly movies to watch, because the pacing is very slow and it's very meditative, and I think it's surreal at times. But if you are going to watch it, I think it's very important to watch it in this particular order, and at the end with his final movie you will kind of understand why his debut, his first film, Ivan's Childhood, was specifically that. So yeah, I highly recommend you watching his movies, because I think he's one of the kind, and he was and is the source of inspiration for so many modern directors, and I don't think that it is ever going to change. Speaking about directors who have not only made a statement with their first movie, but also just changed the landscape of cinema for good, And I'm talking about François Truffaut, and I mean his works are still studied today. When you go to film school and you study the French New Wave, you watch the movies that were made by him, because he just changed everything for everyone. He changed this concept, this idea of coming of age movies, and he left such a remarkable impact on the history of movies in general, which I think is very hard to even imagine. He is definitely one of the kind. And now I would like to slightly go back when I was talking about Andrei Tarkovsky. So I think that Tarkovsky and Truffaut, they are in the same league. They are directors which were so phenomenal in what they have done. They basically crafted and they build it like the foundation for others. That's why I think they are so remarkable. And yes, the 400 Blows, his debut, was absolutely phenomenal. It was new, it was fresh, it was something that no one has seen before, I think, and that's why I think that he is and he should be in top of such lists. The late David Lynch and Eraserhead takes the silver today, and I mean I'm such a very big fan of everything that he created, everything that he had done for not only for the cinema but for the world in general. And you definitely, looking back, you can see from his first movie, from his debut, that he knew exactly what he was doing. People are watching his movies and they all say that, not all of them of course, us Lynch's fans, we understand his movies, but a lot of people say that they don't really understand what is going on. And yes, his movies are very weird, and The Razorhead was a very weird and a very surreal movie, but he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was just, a true artist, not just a craftsman. There is nothing wrong about being a craftsman, but he was a true artist, and I don't think that we've had or even have a lot of people like him. That's why I think that he left not only a remarkable impact on cinema but on the world in general. And of course we know that he didn't receive the Academy Award as best director, but he was one of the kind, and his career was definitely one of the kind. And I think that that's why he really deserves to be up here, because yes, I've had today directors whose movies, like Sam Mendes for example, whose movies received the Oscar, straight away. But David Lynch, he didn't receive the Oscar, but I think that, as I said, his career was one of the kind, and he created this path for directors like him or artists like him. And I think that's why he really deserves to be here. And now let's talk about the one and the only who is going to receive the gold at today's competition. So if you have watched this video till the end, I think you have probably guessed who the winner is today, and of course I'm talking about Quentin Tarantino. The dialogues, the frames, and this one-liner style that I think love Tarantino for was already in his debut. It's the same, I think, as with David Lynch. Quentin Tarantino, he knew exactly what he was doing. And the career that came out of that, I think, is just absolutely extraordinary. Every movie that he has created, from Reservoir Dogs, his debut, till Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can see that he he knew exactly what he was doing, and I'm just hoping that he's going to create his like 10th movie, because I really want the Academy to acknowledge him as a director, because he deserves it, and he's also a great screenwriter, and he is just a phenomenal artist as well. And that's why I think that he really deserves to be, he really deserves the gold in our today's little competition, because that is the confidence that you should have when you are making a movie, or when you are making, I guess, any piece of art, when you want to make a statement, when you want to change something. And he changed a lot. I think he changed the scenery for movies for years to come, and I am actually very glad to see that he is still relevant today. I mean, it's not so many years have passed, but I think it's very nice to see that he is still relevant, and he's just, you know, he's just a wonderful soul, I guess, and I do really love his movies, although sometimes people say that they are probably a little bit too violent. I mean, in terms that he uses violence for violence, you know, but he has the irony around it, and that's why I love him. And I mean, the way he works with music and the way he works with actors, he's one of the kind. I mean, it's probably not worth, you know, talking way too much about him, because we all know him. We, maybe not all, but we love him. And as I said, I can't wait to see if he's going to create another movie, because I think that that is going to be absolutely sensational. You know, like the final movie in such a remarkable career. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a new one. I know it's been a while since I have uploaded, but I am already working on some new videos as well. And let me know in the comments, what is your favorite, or what do you think was the best debut in movie history, and I will see you again very soon.